So just for the sake of this interview, I'd like you to tell it again, how you got started with the Animal Project.
Yeah, I mean, I really, after I'm a Good Person, I'm a Bad Person, which is a film that I made while I was at different film festivals, and I acted in it with my daughter.
Yeah, you actually you gave that to me on DVD, and I actually
Yeah, so cool. Yeah.
it was
I mean,
excellent.
I sort of realized that I'd never really shot a film in Toronto. And I came back from the festivals sort of feeling like, A, I wanted to shoot a film in Toronto, where I lived, and B, I wanted to work with professional actors and actors that I didn't know personally. I wanted to sort of have the challenge of writing for voices and for actors that I wasn't familiar with, because I'd done so many films with my family, and in my previous work I mixed professional and non-professional actors, but really I wrote for people that I'd known. I wrote the big roles were all for people that I knew pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted the challenge of writing for people I didn't know, and I wanted to work with professional actors, and I wanted to shoot in Toronto. But I had no concept for a film. So I went, all right, I'm just going to, I literally woke up one day, and I think I ran the idea by my daughter, and I said, look, I'm just going to I'm going to work with a casting director, Nicole Hilliard-Ford, who was like the first person I called, and I pitched the idea of, I just want to put a letter out to all the agents in Toronto and say, I want to make a new film. I want to shoot in Toronto. I want to take my time to do it. So it's going to be a 3-month shoot. I don't have a lot of money, so I'm going to promise to shoot only 3 days each week, so the actors and the crew can kind of make money doing other jobs the rest of the time. But I'm basically looking to meet with actors that will commit to working with me, knowing that I have no idea for a movie, and that I want them to commit before they know anything about the roles they're going to play. And it was kind of a test of faith. Like, I wanted to take a leap into challenging myself in a different way, and I wanted the creators, the actors, the crew to take that leap with me. And if no one was willing, then the Animal Project wouldn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But I put it out to the agents, and I guess on the back of my 3 other films, I met, actors were curious. I think it also really helped that I was an actor in I'm a Good Person, I'm a Bad Person. That as a director, I was on the front lines as an actor in that film, and I was vulnerable, and I was exposed, and I was playing, between this blurry line of who I really am and a character. And I think actors were like, okay, she's up there and she wants to do something new and creative, like, we'll meet with her. So 100 actors met with me, and I met with them 5 at a time over 2 days. And really, because again, I had no script, no nothing, we spoke about process. I spoke about how I really wanted to form a company of actors that were not only interested in being in the film, but being on the front lines of marketing the film for me, because I know what it takes to kind of find an audience for your film after it's finished. And I had some music on an iPod that I put in the center of the room, and I just watched them listen to music. I had books in the room, about 100 different books, all kinds of different books, and I had each actor select a book. I observed which book they selected, and I had them read the first sentence written by the author, and that was it. And there were like 20-minute meetings, and after those 2 days, I went away, and I just sort of thought about which actors I couldn't get out of my mind. And again, I still had no idea for a movie. And then I met with 10 actors, and this was the second meeting, 1 at a time, and I met with them for a half an hour, and for the first 10 minutes, we sat in silence, because I like awkwardness, and I thought, if I can't be awkward with someone, it's probably going to be really tense working together. So let's see what it feels like to just sit awkwardly together. And then for the second 10 minutes, I asked very personal questions, and I basically said, you could lie or tell me the truth, but I'm going to write down your answer, and from this point on, whatever you say, you let me use in the script. So I asked them questions, I wrote stuff down, and then for the last 10 minutes, they could ask me whatever they wanted. I could also give myself permission to lie or tell the truth. And that was that half-hour meeting. And from those 10 actors, I selected the 8 that are in the film. I promised each of them roles. They promised to give me 3 months of their life, and then I went off and wrote the script. And I presented the script to them, and it was really interesting kind of watching them all be really curious about the roles I wrote for them. And they all met for the first time on the first day of shooting, which is the interview scene, which is the first scene in the movie. So it was a really unconventional and strangely backwards way of promising roles to actors and then writing the script. And it was certainly challenging. I don't know if I would ever do it again. I think that writing a script and then going out and casting it makes a lot more sense. But at the same time, I think that the process of the Animal Project, that very nature of it sort of being born lives in the film somehow. And that's something that's intangible, and I'm still kind of observing and understanding, but I think it's exciting to me that if I'd written the script and then went out and cast the actors in the traditional way, I think the Animal Project would have been a very different film.
Yeah, you can sort of feel this sort of like underlying, like, I almost want to say like an urgency, like everybody, it seems like all these actors were sort of in your same mindset, you know, getting to know them for that long. It felt like everybody was sort of in on the same page with it. And it does feel
exactly. Like... And I think that the process of me sort of creating this challenge for myself and taking the leap into doing something that I don't know if I could do. I mean, it could have been an absolute disaster. So I took a leap into a process that was kind of irrational, but that I had an instinct about. And the actors took a leap into this experience, also probably being full of fear, but kind of quasi-trusting and having instinct about it being worthwhile. And the actors took a leap. And inside the film, the characters are taking a very similar leap in becoming a part of the Animal Project, which doesn't really make sense, but they kind of do it, and it's irrational and could really fail and lead nowhere, but they do it. And I think as a result, the audience is kind of taking a leap into this film too, which is, as an audience, they're watching something that's kind of irregular and odd and unconventional and shouldn't really work, but hopefully does in some way. And that makes it feel original and fresh and exciting. And I think that is like inside the film, there's a kind of cyclical theme of repetition. I think, you know, when I was writing, I was visualizing a spiral, and I think that the very nature of the film really lives in the film, and I think is a part of the audience experience also.